Most people believe inconsistent AI outputs are caused by bad prompts, but the real problem is unstable context. Once you understand the concept of context containers, you can turn AI interactions into repeatable workflows. Most people think the problem with AI is that it's unpredictable. One day it gives you a great answer. The next day, the exact same prompt produces something completely different. So what do people do? They keep tweaking the prompt, add more instructions, add more detail, rewrite the whole thing again. But the answers still drift. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's generic, sometimes it completely misses the point. And after a while, it starts to feel like AI just isn't reliable. Let's be honest, that inconsistency is frustrating. Not because the tools are bad, but because every interaction requires more thinking than it should. More rewriting, more adjusting, more cognitive load. And that hidden cost adds up. You don't lose minutes, you lose momentum. But here's the structural mistake almost nobody talks about. The problem isn't your prompt. The problem is that you're asking AI stateless questions and expecting systematic results. Those two things don't match. Once you understand the structure behind consistent outputs, AI stops feeling random and starts behaving like a system you can actually rely on. Let's unpack what's really going on. Most people treat AI like a search engine. You ask a question, it gives an answer. Simple. But large language models don't work like that. They generate responses based on the context you give them at that moment. Not memory, not history, not intention. Just the words in the prompt. That means every time you send a new prompt, the model is essentially starting fresh. Same tool, new context, new probability landscape, different answer. That's the root of inconsistency, not randomness. Context instability. If the context changes, the output changes. That's the first shift. Consistency doesn't come from better questions. It comes from stable structure. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine two people asking AI to write a newsletter. Person 1 types, "Write a newsletter about productivity for entrepreneurs." Seems reasonable, but the AI now has to make dozens of decisions. Tone, audience level, structure, length, examples, style. And because those parameters weren't defined, the model guesses. Different guess each time, so the results vary. Now imagine a different approach. Instead of asking a vague request, the user provides structured context. Something like this. You are writing for solo business owners who are overwhelmed by tools and information. Your tone should be calm, analytical, and practical. The article should focus on frameworks rather than motivational advice. Length, roughly 800 to 1,000 words. Now the model isn't guessing anymore. It's operating inside a defined environment. Same prompt category, completely different consistency. That's the leverage. Here's the trap most people fall into. They think prompting is about wording. It's not. Prompting is about constraints. The more clear the constraints, the more stable the output. Think of it like building a container. If the container changes shape every time, the result changes. If the container stays stable, the result stabilizes. And that leads us to the first framework most AI users are missing: the context container. A context container is a structured set of instructions that define role, audience, tone, output format, constraints, before the actual task even begins. In other words, you stop prompting for answers and start defining operating conditions. This is how experienced AI users get consistent results. They're not writing better prompts, they're building stable environments. Let's walk through what that actually looks like. The first layer is role definition. This tells the model who it should behave as, not in a theatrical sense, in a functional sense. For example, you are a strategic advisor helping solo founders simplify their workflows. Now the model has a decision filter. Every sentence it produces will lean toward that role. Without this, the AI shifts personalities constantly. One response might sound academic. Another might sound like a motivational coach. Same prompt, different role assumption. That's inconsistency. The second layer is audience clarity. This is more important than most people realize. because AI adapts its explanation style based on who it believes the reader is. Consider these two audiences: beginner creators, technical engineers. Same topic, completely different explanations. If the model doesn't know the audience, it hedges, which usually results in generic content. Let's be honest, we've all seen that. Advice that technically makes sense, but feels oddly hollow. That's an audience mismatch. The third layer is tone and voice. This controls how the information is delivered: analytical, friendly, educational, direct. Without this, the tone shifts unpredictably, and that matters more than people think, because tone affects trust. If one response sounds thoughtful and the next sounds like a motivational tweet thread, the system feels unreliable. Consistency isn't just about facts, it's about voice stability. The fourth layer is output structure. This might be the most powerful piece. You define the format the answer should follow. Examples: 3 sections, bullet breakdown, step-by-step reasoning. Case examples included. Why does this matter? Because structure reduces variance. If the AI always fills the same format, the output stabilizes. This is exactly why professional prompt libraries work. They aren't collections of clever prompts. They're collections of repeatable structures. The fifth layer is constraints. This is where precision really improves. Constraints tell the AI what not to do. Avoid jargon. Focus on practical actions. Limit to 5 steps. Include trade-offs. Constraints narrow the probability space, which leads to tighter answers. That sounds small. It isn't. Small constraints produce large stability. Let's pause for a second, because this is the key shift. Most people try to improve AI output by editing prompts, but consistent users improve AI output by designing context containers. That's the structural difference. Let's look at a real scenario. A small business owner wants help writing product descriptions. Without structure, they might ask, "Write a product description for a productivity planner." And the AI produces something generic, because it's guessing brand voice, customer type, value proposition. Now imagine a context container like this. You are a conversion-focused copywriter helping small productivity brands. Audience: busy professionals who struggle with organization. Tone: calm, clear, practical. Output: short product description, 150 words max. Include emotional benefit and practical feature. Then the task: write a description for a daily productivity planner designed to reduce overwhelm. Now the model isn't guessing anymore, it's executing. Same tool, different results. Let's look at another example. A creator wants YouTube script ideas. Without context, the prompt might be, "Give me 10 YouTube ideas about AI." What happens? You get surface-level topics, because the AI doesn't know the creator's strategy. But add a context container. You are helping a solo YouTube creator who teaches practical AI workflows to non-technical entrepreneurs. Content should emphasize systems, frameworks, and implementation. Now ask for ideas. Suddenly, the topics become AI systems every solo creator should build. Why most AI prompts fail: building repeatable AI workflows. Same request, different strategic depth. That's context leverage. Now let's talk about failure modes, because even people who understand prompting still run into problems. Here are 3 common ones. Failure mode number 1, the overloaded prompt cause. Trying to include everything in one massive prompt. Symptom: AI ignores parts of the instruction. Fix: separate container from task. Container defines environment. Task changes per request. That's the difference between a system and a one-off prompt. Failure mode number 2, context drift. Cause: continuing long conversations without restating key constraints. Symptom: AI tone slowly changes. Fix: periodically re-anchor the container. Think of it like recalibrating a compass. The model follows the latest context, so refresh the important parts. Failure mode number 3, ambiguous objectives. Cause: asking AI for something you haven't clarified yourself. Symptom: vague or generic responses. Fix: Define the decision outcome before prompting, not write about productivity. Instead, explain a productivity framework that helps overwhelmed freelancers prioritize tasks. Clear objective, clear output. Now, let's translate all of this into something you can actually implement, because theory is useful, but structure is what saves time. Here's a simple system you can start using today. Step 1. Build your context container. Write a short, reusable block that defines role, audience, tone, output structure, constraints. Think of this as your AI environment. This should stay mostly constant. Step 2. Separate task from context. Instead of rewriting everything each time, keep your container stable, then add a simple task below it. For example, task, generate 3 newsletter ideas about simplifying AI workflows. The container handles the thinking environment. The task handles the request. Step 3, create templates for repeated work. If you do the same task often, writing emails, generating ideas, summarizing notes, build a small template container, then task slot. Now you're not prompting anymore. You're operating a repeatable workflow. That's the leverage. Let's ground this with one more example. Imagine a consultant who frequently summarizes meeting transcripts. Without structure, they might prompt, "Summarize this meeting." The results vary, sometimes detailed, sometimes short. But with a template, you are summarizing meetings for busy executives. Tone, concise and analytical. Output format, key decisions, action items, open questions. Now paste the transcript. Every summary follows the same logic. That's consistency. And consistency saves mental energy. Here's the deeper insight most people miss. Consistency with AI is not about controlling the model. It's about controlling the environment the model operates in. Once that environment is stable, outputs stabilize. So let's make this practical. If you want to start using this immediately, here's your action plan. Do this today. Create one context container for your most common AI task. Maybe it's writing, maybe it's research, maybe it's idea generation. Just write 5 lines: role, audience, tone, structure, constraints. That alone will improve output consistency dramatically. Then do this week. Build 3 reusable templates, one for content, one for analysis, one for brainstorming. Each template uses the same container system. Once you do that, you stop rewriting prompts. You start running workflows, and that changes how AI fits into your work. Because the real goal isn't better prompts, it's reliable thinking tools. AI becomes powerful when it stops feeling random and starts feeling predictable, structured, repeatable. That's when it actually saves time. So here's the question I'm curious about. When you use AI right now, what frustrates you the most? Is it inconsistent outputs, generic answers, or prompts that work once but fail the next time? Drop your biggest frustration in the comments. I read everyone, and it often becomes the next episode. Because once you understand the systems behind these tools, you stop fighting the AI and start designing how it works for you. Turning AI from a novelty into real leverage. If that's the direction you want to go, make sure you're subscribed. New episodes break down practical systems for using AI in business, content creation, and decision-making. Without the hype, without the noise, just clear frameworks you can actually use. So subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.